Suzuki's GSXS1000GT is all-conquering, well in the UK at least anyway, where it is the best-selling sports tourer in 2022 with 781 UK registrations of new bikes since its launch, which was only in April of 2022, so it wasn't even available for the first 3 months of the year. The 12-month sales projections are expected to be north of 1,000 units by the end of March 2023. It does have some stiff and varied competition: Yamaha's 3-cylinder Tracer 9 GT, Honda's Africa twin-powered NT1100, the Z1000SX from Kawasaki, the big 1300cc V-twin Super Duke GT, and BMW's S1000XR, to mention a few. Each of these bikes has its own unique characteristics, as they are all quite different from the Suzuki and each other, except for maybe the Kawasaki, which you could argue is quite close to the Suzuki, yet the Suzuki has them all beaten. So why is it the sports touring segment leader? I had a look into it and came up with 5 reasons why. Hello and welcome to Moto Chatter. Let's dive into those reasons. The Suzuki is not the most powerful of the bunch, but it does significantly outpower any bike that is anywhere near it in price. The Kawasaki is the closest at the Suzuki's price point, but is still 11 horsepower down despite the extra 44cc. The Yamaha and Honda don't come close. The BMW has 12 more horsepower than the Gixxer GT, but costs thousands more in base form alone. We will come back to that later. The KTM is in a league of its own in performance, but also on price too. But it's not all about power, and Suzuki's 999cc inline 4 has a good spread of torque too, peaking with 78 pound-foot at 9,250 rpm. It weighs 226 kilos or 498 pounds ready to ride and has a 19-litre fuel tank. It can return 46.3 mpg. While there are others, but not all, that can beat that, it still isn't too bad, and it's traded off with the level of performance the engine can produce. So the Suzuki is the highest performing at its price point and still has a real-world usable engine. The 1000 GT comes with a really good tech package too. It has an up and down quick shifter, 5-level traction control, 3 power modes, cruise control, full LED lights and phone connectivity, allowing calls, messages and navigation, all on the generous 6.5-inch TFT screen. The screen has day and night modes too to make it easy to see, and all this is included as standard and is controlled from the simple switch on the left hand bar and appears to be laid out in a clear enough format. This package puts it right on par with any of its competition and ahead of some of it, unless you start adding extras. So the Suzuki has everything you would want from a 21st century sports tourer straight out of the box. The Suzuki walks a fine line of having a sporty and edgy design without going too far or being too out there, like perhaps the KTM, which I like, but have always thought the bug-like styling could be improved. The Suzuki doesn't go too far the other way either, like the more conservative Honda, upon which you could easily imagine some blue lights and some police stickers. Not so with the Suzuki. It comes in 3 colours, my favourite is the Miami Blue, but in any colour it looks a bit more elegant than the Kawasaki, which is still relying on the decal kit to provide much of its aesthetic. The Suzuki manages to blend sporty, edgy looks with some poise and elegance, and it's neither too offensive to the eye or too bland for the soul, giving it a broad appeal. For £1,000 more in the UK or around $700 in the US, don't worry, pricing is coming next. You can add a pair of 36-litre colour matched panniers to the GT, which will each take a full face helmet, giving you a decent amount of luggage space and flexibility, all in harmony with the bike's lines. The Suzuki spent a lot of time in wind tunnel testing too, to get the aerodynamics and rider wind protection just right. It has fully adjustable KYB forks and a rebound and preload adjustable rear monoshock. Even though they have unceremoniously bowed out of MotoGP, we know that Suzuki know how to make a good chassis, and the GT has a tried and tested aluminium twin spar chassis. It even comes with radial Brembo brake calipers that you can option in red if you wish. All this adds up to a balanced blend of practicality and sporty capability. After all, it is a sports tourer. It doesn't go too far in any measure, but still does enough. For example, not having the latest electronic suspension, but the forks are still fully adjustable. It's not too hot or too cold. It is the Goldilocks of the bunch, striking a balance between what you want or need and what might be an unnecessary accessory. Which brings us on to price. Looking at UK prices, the Suzuki is bested only by the Kawasaki and then by just £150. It ties with the NT1100 if you want to change the gears yourself and don't opt for Honda's dual clutch transmission. The Tracer 9 GT is a few £100 more but comes with panniers. Put panniers on the Suzuki and the Kawasaki and they're only a little bit more than the Yamaha, and there is only £100 between them. Now when prices are this close, it's not really a factor in the buying decision, but as mentioned, the Suzuki has them all outgunned in performance and a broader appeal in the looks department too. That leaves the BMW, which starts thousands above the Suzuki without panniers and any extras you would need to add to level the spec. The KTM starts at thousands more again, also without the practicality of panniers, generally essential on a touring bike, so again the price goes up more from there. Really though, I don't think the Suzuki competes with these two bikes. You buy the KTM because you want the KTM, and similarly with the BMW. You already decided you wanted those bikes before you get to the showroom. The others are all competing for your attention and your hard earned, and it seems that the Suzuki, while not excelling in any particular area, it still has the other bikes here significantly outclassed in at least one key area, all while being right in that competitive price bracket. It is the Goldilocks of the sports tourer segment, managing to be just right, or at least that's what the sales figures say. If you're walking into the showroom with an open mind, I think more times than not, on balance, you ride out on the GSXS1000GT. But what do you think? Does the Suzuki strike the right balance and value for you, or would you lean towards one of the others, or perhaps a different option? Let me and others know what you think in the comments. I hope you liked the video. Remember to like and subscribe if you did. You can click here for more now, including a Suzuki icon. But whatever you do, have a great day, and as always, thanks for watching.